the yacht brokers always do like a description, like John John loves like or John has a sense of adventure, and like it is weird. It's not even like a resume. It's just like it's a weird description that makes you sound very. I can't come up with a word.
Yeah.
I need a yacht broker to write it for me.
By the way, also a 20-year-old yacht broker. I don't know which connection
Lila,
ever.
yeah,
I don't even know what connection of her parents got her that job, but at least she's got that going for her.
I love. There's some rich people where like the kids don't even go to college because I
Yeah.
feel like you'd usually think, oh, very rich people, they're gonna like buy their kids into any college in the country.
Yeah.
But some rich people don't even bother with that. It's like I'm just gonna find you a job.
Yeah.
Maybe
Well,
you'll be
yeah.
bad at it and you won't
You
be
want to make
qualified for it, but
you want to make
whatever.
300,000 a year selling yachts as a 20-year-old? Sure, sounds great.
I hope she
Uh,
works in commission, doesn't actually make that, but
yeah. Also, what was the deal with the envelope? It was so small. Like I honestly like tried to Google if they make like 1,000 euro notes or something.
very
I mean,
thin envelope.
but it was a big tip. It
It was
was
a
like
yeah,
eight.
decent tip, yeah.
Yeah, it was like what, 18 grand or something.
And to be fair, like they didn't burn any fuel,
Yeah,
which is very
that's
expensive.
crazy.
Like that saves the boat a lot of money if you do not live in the
Yeah,
dock. Yeah.
yeah.
Yeah,
Uh,
John, anything else on the charter gas?
nah, it just sucks for them, honestly. Like you can't blame anyone for the weather, but I just thought these charter guests kind of like drew the short straw here, obviously.
Yeah, I mean they got off the obviously the last day they got off the dock, and then they do a few water sports. Then of course the anchor gets caught.
Oh, that was so honest. That was so like weird. Plus, like I was looking on Twitter, like people were saying that like sometimes those are like old like sewage pipes, and I was just a little grossed out. But I mean, these cities are hundreds of years old. Um, but I guess Courtney looked really flustered at that point. And like the guy was just basically like giving her directions, and he was like, "Oh, but like up in the front, there's like a release for the anchor, right?" And she's like, no." She definitely didn't know, but nobody knew.
Yeah, so John, if you're Courtney, yes, you're probably like a little embarrassed because you're supposed to be the expert in that moment,
Yeah,
but you got to take his advice, right? If you don't know what to do, and there's like one of the guests is like, "Hey, try this." I kind of respect her for doing that. Like, all right,
it's
I have
like
no idea either.
it's like thinking you know better than like Apple Maps. You're
Right?
just like,
Yeah.
no, we're not going this way.
Right.
I know, I know, I've never been there before, but we're not going that way.
Like they're paying her to be the expert, and like she's supposed to be lead that kid and know, but takes a little humility to be like, I don't know. I will take your advice. And yeah, Gerald gets to look like a king.
Yeah,
So smart. I liked Courtney's humility in that spot.
yeah, yeah. No, I do. And I think everyone was willing to help to like jump in, right? So Z was like, I don't remember if he was like in the water. Reed, who drinks 69 days in a row. I don't remember if he was in the water or not. But
Over what or Z definitely was.
yeah, Z was. So good on these guys. I don't know, Sean. I got nothing else, man. I can jump right into awards or anything else on the episode.
Did we mention 21st birthday party for Lila?
Yeah, seemed
Or
like a
she
good
just
party. She just turned 21. Looked like she knew how to drink. So I mean, I don't know. She,
very young to be a yacht broker, as you
yep,
mentioned, but yeah.
yep. But they wanted a frat scene. They got it for a little bit, and then I think everybody was tired. I could tell the last thing Nat wanted was for them to come and be like, "Hey, I know it's midnight, but can we do like a frat party?" And she was like, "Yeah, definitely, definitely." And she probably just like went back and like banged her head up against the cabinets after that. But
Yeah, I would have told Natasha I quit. Like, hey, like
yeah,
at least
yeah,
for the day, like I'm going to bed.
yeah. No, I get it. All right, Sean, let's go into awards, man. Who'd you have? I think you know who I'm picking losing, so you can go first on both these. Who'd you have winning?
I had a primary Charter guess Geralt. Great name, never heard it before. Well,
Isn't it Gerald?
this is Garold.
I don't know
Is
what
that
I don't know what that is.
Geralt? So little Gary, little Harold, like guys rich enough to take his family in the yacht charter, so that's cool. Seems pretty likable, and he looks like a stud when he helps Courtney out. He knows what to do. He knows like, hey, here's how you get the anchor entangled. You gotta put the bow in reverse in the opposite direction of the hook. It ends up working. I'm sure his wife Catherine's very impressed. I was very impressed from home. So, and he tips a decent amount considering they didn't really leave the leave the dock much. So, I didn't really have anyone else to pick, so I went with Gerald. John, how about you?
I went with the yacht owner because they had like no gas costs, so they made a killing on this one.
Oh yeah, huge margins.
Yeah, like we're talking crazy margins. The biggest cost for this thing, if it's not insurance, it's gas. And so when it's in port, I don't know, maybe you don't have to pay as high insurance. And they also didn't waste any gas. So maybe the environment one, maybe the planet one. But I got a lot of like winners that aren't in the title necessarily or aren't in the credits for this episode.
Yeah, all you had to pay for food. I guess they do leave the dock once the last day, but it was very brief.
Yeah,
They're gone for like an hour. So
yeah,
that's okay. I like that. I like that pick.
yeah.
Now we're both picking Kyle, right?
You know my rule, Sean. If you leave the boat and pretty much get fired, you're on the shit list. So I think even if he didn't get fired, just like I think it's a real tough look for him going forward. If anybody watches this show and it was like, what was up with that ankle, man? Like I just like he literally rolled over. He rolled his ankle, fell down, was lying face on the floor. Like honestly, like listen, I get it. Like people have different pain tolerances, but like the sounds that were coming out of this guy's mouth was just like somebody stabbed a seal. And and then to like be like have everyone be like, oh my gosh, grab a blanket, grab a pillow. Like was he eating a Kit Kat bar at some point? I thought he was like eating a candy bar.
Yes.
And for it to then just like be a strain, like yeah, they probably hurt, but like I don't know. I think it's a tough look.
Now, the initial noises were tough. When he started crying, I thought maybe it was like he knows the season's over, and it's like, oh, I'm losing out on all this money now, or I'm letting the team down, or all that. But then after he finds out it wasn't like a break or even like a high ankle sprain,
Yeah.
every action from there is like, no, you were just being dramatic.
Right.
This and just since he met Frank and fell in love, Kyle's been a dud to me.
That's true. That was his
zero work ethic.
That was his peak, man. He at Frank, like he was going up. Met Frank. It was a hard way down.
We saw that guy got 2 teeth removed and then like go out drinking that same night. Now, to be fair, if going out, like Kyle wanted to go at the end of this episode too. So maybe that's just like a thing like Kyle will power through to get drunk. Well, I totally get that.
Yeah.
But yeah, I think the Frank meeting Frank, that was kind of the turning point in the season. And he's just been out on this job for a while now.
Yeah, it's been a tough look for him. So that's all I got on Kyle, man. I can't imagine he got him winning or losing any episodes going forward. Well, maybe the reunion.
We will see. He's gonna have a lot to say during the reunion, I'm sure.
Yeah.
John, I got one more thing for you.
Yeah.
So we got a Below Deck Adventure premieres tomorrow.
Yep.
Below Deck Legacy Season 10 premieres I think November 21st. I want to say so, like 3 weeks from now. What are you more excited for between the two?
I am very interested to seeing what Below Deck Adventure is about. So I love the idea. So it's basically like excursions, right?
Yeah.
for these people, and like that seems really cool. Like, going up and like I think it's like because it's like what Nordic essentially, like are they like ice climbing? Like I don't know what they're doing, but that seems really cool, especially since like I feel like we've gotten into this like, you know, personally at least, I love below deck sailing yachts so much that I feel like I'm almost like waiting until like below deck sailing yacht starts again. Like, yeah, I like below deck med. It's had good seasons, but like I don't think there's any chance it could be a 10 for me. And the same thing with below deck legacy. So yeah, everybody loves Captain Lee. I think having Frazier as the chief stew is a plus. I think we're both pro Frazier.
Yes.
So like that could be a high number. So I'm excited for that. But Below Deck Adventure has me very intrigued, but I am glad that we have Legacy back.
Okay, I agree with you. Because adventure can be like whatever it wants to be because we haven't seen it yet, and
Right.
there's no other seasons to compare it to, which is a lot of fun. New captain, all of that, and like what makes Sailing Yacht cool is like it's a little bit different of a show. The yachties, Sailing Yacht yachties are different than like regular super yacht yachties.
Right.
The boat's smaller. They a little bit more intimate, not quite as luxurious, but more fun, more adventure. And like, so Legacy and Meta are basically the same show. They just take place somewhere different.
Yep.
I like so adventure. I'm very excited for it. But Jenny, you brought up a great point. We've had to meet all these new chief stews with between Legacy and Med the past couple of years. Haven't been that impressed with any of them. I like Frazier. I think I know what I'm getting. I think he can carry a show.
I mean, I think he pretty much did last season.
Yeah.
Right?
Oh yeah.
I mean, he was one of our favorite characters last season. So now we've just got him in like a more like authoritative role. There's good things and bad things to that. Like, I mean, I think like if below deck sailing has taught us anything, you can be the head of your department and still be a ton of fun. So I hope that's kind of the line he walks, right? Takes a page out of Daisy's book.
Yeah, I got a good feeling about Frazier. Never had a male chief stew before. That I think that'll be nice and interesting. And I mean, also, so Rachel is back on Legacy. But earlier this year, she like went on social media and just started talking trash about Bravo nonstop.
Yeah.
So I think she might get fired or something crazy happens.
So she might get fired or she like continue. So, I mean, I know these things production takes so long that like kind of those rants she went on and
March.
on Twitter. Yeah, like they had already filmed.
Yeah.
So I don't know. Maybe she does get fired. I don't know. I mean, but she's so good. I mean,
it wouldn't be for like job performance. It would be for other stuff. I would.
Yeah,
think.
yeah. Like she
or she quits.
She's like a loose cannon. She's such a good chef, but she's a real loose cannon. So,
yeah, I mean,
who knows?
It'll be interesting. I think you have a little bit more excited for adventure, but we'll see. I don't. So, John, do you want to? We'll watch Adventure tomorrow. Maybe cover that next week with Med.
Yeah, I think that sounds great.
Give our initial thoughts. All right, that sounds beautiful.
All right, man. I think that's all we got. And I guess we're on to episode 18 next week. Below Deck Med.
What a season!
Yep.
All right, everyone. Guys, thank you so much for listening. We'll see you next week. John, everyone, bon voyage.